Welcome back to the Unwritten Volumes. If you have not heard the first part, pause this and go listen to the first light, because what happens next will only make sense if you know how it began. The night after the message appeared, Lena Hawthorne did not sleep. The words still burned behind her eyes. "You saw us first. Keep watching." She replayed the memory again and again, the flicker, the hum, the silence afterward, until she could almost hear it inside her heartbeat. By morning, Cedar Grove was no longer quiet. Helicopters crossed the valley skies, streaking gray vapor through the dawn. The government had arrived. Neighbors stood outside, shielding their eyes from the dust and noise. Drones swept the streets, scanning rooftops. Every household received a calm message on their home network. Temporary safety measures due to atmospheric interference. Please remain indoors. Lena watched the chaos from her bedroom window. Her father had locked the front gate and moved most of their data servers to offline mode. He claimed it was precautionary, but his face told a different story. Fear, not protection. Inside, her mother packed emergency kits as if expecting an earthquake. No one mentioned the light. Not once. By afternoon, uniformed officers had come to every door in town. They carried the containment survey. They asked about strange lights, unusual frequencies, energy surges. When they reached the Hawthorne house, Lena tried to stay calm, but her pulse thudded in her ears. The lead officer introduced himself as Major Keller, tall, middle-aged, voice flat like a machine reading human lines. He asked routine questions at first. Name, age, address, education. Then his gaze flicked toward the telescopes behind her. "You like to watch the sky?" he said. Lena nodded slowly. "I study planetary optics." "Did you record anything unusual last night?" She hesitated. Her father spoke before she could. "My daughter monitors meteor data. She hasn't recorded anything beyond normal parameters." Keller's expression did not change. He simply tapped his wrist device, which emitted a soft ping, then looked back at Lena. "If you remember something later, report it through the local network node. It's important for everyone's safety." He left without another word. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. That evening, Jonathan Hawthorne sealed the house's main terminal. Lena sat alone upstairs, watching the horizon. The helicopters had vanished, but the hum remained a faint vibration that seemed to rise from the earth itself. At 11:47 p.m., her telescope's automatic recorder turned on by itself. She hadn't touched it. The lens rotated upward, fixed on an empty section of sky. Her computer screen lit up, lines of code forming rapidly across the display. Then, through the static, came a voice. It was faint metallic, fragmented by interference. "Lena, do you hear us?" A breath caught. "Who are you?" she whispered. The voice didn't answer. Instead, a low harmonic tone filled the room, rhythmic, almost musical. The frequency graph on her screen pulsed with perfect symmetry, a pattern no random signal could produce. Lena opened a fresh data file and began copying every fluctuation. 3 minutes later, the transmission stopped. The final reading froze on the number 3.142, the first digits of pi. She stared at it for a long time. It wasn't just random noise. It was a message, coded in mathematics, the only language truly universal. The next day, the world woke to confusion. Every global feed buzzed with speculation. Unregistered frequencies detected across North America, synchronized at exact time intervals. No one could locate the source. Some blamed solar flares. Others whispered about aliens. The government refused to comment. Lena's inbox overflowed again, but this time her father shut down her access completely. "This is not curiosity anymore," he told her. "This is intrusion. You're being watched." She wanted to argue, but then she saw the fear behind his voice, a fear she had never heard from him before. That night, unable to resist, she snuck out. The fog had rolled in thick, swallowing the valley in a silver haze. She carried only a small, portable scanner in her tablet. At the edge of the forest, the hum grew louder. It wasn't coming from above. It was beneath her feet. She knelt, pressing the scanner to the ground. The readings spiked violently, then stabilized into a steady pulse, the same rhythm she had heard through her monitor. A signal, buried deep below the soil of Cedar Grove. A soft blue glow shimmered through the fog ahead, faint but unmistakable. She took a step closer. The scanner flickered, then died. The ground beneath her vibrated, gentle at first, tenstrungere like something stirring miles below. Lena froze, staring into the fog. For a moment, she thought she saw movement, a shape shifting just beyond sight. Then the light vanished, and the night fell silent. She ran home, heart hammering. Inside, her parents were waiting, pale and tense. Before she could speak, her father held up a hand. "You are not the only one seeing it," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" He exhaled, the weight of decades in his voice. "I used to work on orbital projects before you were born. We picked up signals like this once. Weak, fragmented, impossible to trace. The government erased them from every record. We thought it was background radiation. But it wasn't." Lena's voice trembled. "You think it's them?" He looked at her for a long moment and finally said, "I think it never left." That night, the hum became unbearable. It wasn't outside anymore. It was inside her head. Soft, insistent, rhythmic. When she closed her eyes, she saw flashes of light, shapes like constellations rearranging themselves into symbols she almost understood. At dawn, she woke to find a new message on her monitor. No alert, no sound, just words floating in the dark screen. "The signal is beneath the sky. Find the core." Her reflection stared back at her, eyes tired, face pale, hands trembling. Whatever was communicating with her was no longer content to be seen. It wanted her to come closer. She copied the message onto a note, folded it, and hid it inside her notebook. Outside her window, the fog lifted, revealing a fleet of black drones scanning the horizon. The world believed it was studying the sky. Lena now knew the truth. The real secret was under their feet. This was not the end of the light. It was only the beginning of the signal. If you reached this point, tell me in the comments, what do you think lies beneath Cedar Grove? Subscribe, like, and share this story so more people can follow the signal with you. And if you want episode 3, comment, find the core.